when black, excuse me, jumps into the 3/3, he is initiating a common Joseki sequence.
Right, and we covered this in another branch, but we'll go ahead and cover it again. So, in this situation, the first thing that white needs to do is to try to separate black as much as he can. So,
yeah, and this is a safe move. This is really the only move, because to play here would be over concentrated, putting too many stones in one tight area. And
it would split black up.
Yeah, white can't allow this move. Okay. And so white plays there. And then black has this Hane at the bottom, which is threatening to connect up.
All right, if black gets that move, then those three will all be connected. So white can go here, threatening to Atari black on the next move.
Right. So black can't afford at this point to cut, because if he does, then white will just capture his stone. Again, we've seen this before, how a stone that's Atari'd on the second line will almost always get captured. So black doesn't have the time to cut here. He has to defend.
Once he defends, now this Atari is no longer a threat, so white has to worry about getting cut off himself, so he has to connect.
And now we see that white has successfully cut black into two groups. However, black's group over here doesn't yet have enough space to live. This little area here is not good enough to make two eyes. Fortunately, it's black's move, so he plays a move which is intended to make more space for black to get two eyes and survive.
Right. So now that black has enough space and life is going to be much easier, white needs to limit him. So what you don't want black doing is running out into this area, so we block him off that way.
Black then has the opportunity to, and needs to push up. If he lets white get this move, then black's whole position here crumbles. So black pushes up to stop that from happening and to create a weakness in white's group.
Now, these two white groups are in danger of being separated, so white needs to play here to finish sealing black in and pseudo link up. He's not totally linked. There's still a cut there, but it's more favorable for him than if he just lets black get that move.
Yeah, if black gets this move, then this whole thing dies. Okay. And while this looks pretty good for black, black still needs one more move here to survive, and that is this move. If black omits this, then when we see the Hane here, we notice that black can't just Atari there, because now there's a double Atari, and if black captures here, then this ends very badly for black. So
connect and then
connect and die.
Yeah,
runs into the wall.
Run into the wall. Right.
So
black can't do that.
Right. So he has to play here instead. Mm-hmm. In which case, white will then Atari on the other side. And the best black can hope for is that white will make a mistake. If black plays here, then white's next move is to poke out the potential eye, and you can read it out for yourself. This whole shape dies.
Yeah. I think we've covered this sequence, and I can't remember. We might have actually done a special video just on this sequence. If there is, then I'll link to it. If not, then you'll have to read it out yourself.
Yeah. So, that being said, black can't omit this move. Right. So, when black plays that brings the Joseki to a conclusion, and we can evaluate from here.
Okay. So, we see, again, first of all, white comes away. It's white's move. He has Sente. White has some strength this way. He has some strength this way toward his stone over there. There's problems with it. I mean, it's definitely attackable. But on the other hand, the other thing is that if he's able to keep all of his stuff on the outside alive and weather any attack, then this black group even though it's alive, is completely sealed in.
Yeah. White needs to worry about this cut.
Right.
Black has that potentially. Black also has this forcing move potentially. Mm-hmm. But here's the key to this. There's a Go professional, a teaching professional. I'm going to butcher her name. I think it's Go Juan. She's a teaching professional, and she prefers this because she says that even though these two stones are weak compared to the surrounding black stones, white stones, if black treats these two stones lightly, then black can reduce and mitigate white's influence on the rest of the board. So while not all professionals agree with her, I kind of like this, Joseki. I like this for black.
When you say she prefers this, you mean she prefers this to just, instead of this jump out move, she prefers this jump out to just immediately jumping straight in.
Just jumping straight in.
You get a little bit extra on the outside.
So she thinks that this gives black a little bit extra, and I agree with her. I think that this has, if you treat these two stones lightly and just kind of treat it like a...
Use them for threats,
like so. Then these can be used very valuably. And remember, all white got here is influence. Mm-hmm. He didn't get any territory, really. Yeah. Maybe a couple points.
So if you destroy that influence, then he got nothing.
Yep, so that's it. I would say that this is good for black.